Welcome to the deep dive, where we like to say we do the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
That's right.
And today we are diving into, we're swimming through all of the immigration news from greencardforselfpetition.com.
That's good.
They've got a newsletter, and it's got a lot of really, really interesting information about how to navigate the U.S. immigration system.
And it is a system, isn't it?
Oh, boy. It really is.
Yeah.
It can be a challenge.
Absolutely.
So we're bringing in the big guns today to help us figure it all out.
That's me.
You got it.
All right, let's do it.
So this deep dive is particularly for you if you are on an F1, H1B, J1, or a spouse of one of these visa holders.
Right.
So if you are thinking about making the U.S. your permanent home, this is the one for you.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the November 2024 Visa Bulletin.
Okay.
It's always a big deal when it comes out.
It is. It is. Everybody's watching it.
I got to say, not a ton of movement in the employment-based categories.
No, not a ton of movement.
Which is
sadly
a bummer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially for those who are in the EB1 and EB2 categories coming from China and India, the wait continues.
Yeah.
The cutoff dates are exactly the same, meaning that those applications that were submitted before those dates are just still in line.
Still in line.
They're just waiting, which really highlights, how much demand there is.
Yeah.
And really how bad the backlog is in some of these categories.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
So not the news that, a lot of people were hoping for, but It's not all doom and gloom.
No.
There was some good news.
There was.
For those who are in the religious worker category.
Yes.
There was a little bit of a lifeline thrown their way.
Yeah, the EB4 category for religious workers was reauthorized until December 2024.
Nice.
So that's huge, right, for people who are applying under that.
Yeah.
So both individuals and organizations that rely on that visa category.
Big win for them.
A big win.
And I bet we'll see an uptick in applications now that that's been reauthorized.
I think so, too, just because of the stability that it provides.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know they've got a little bit more time, at least, right?
Okay, so speaking of things that are a little bit more modern, let's talk about USCIS.
All right.
They are dipping their toes into the digital age.
Finally.
I know, right? Finally, they're coming out with a new online filing system.
It's true. It's true.
It's about time.
It's about time, although it is just a pilot program.
Okay.
So baby steps, but it's a step in the right direction, right?
Okay, so what is it? What are they doing?
So right now they're starting with Form I-765, which is for work authorization, and Form I-912 for fee waivers.
Oh.
And here's the really exciting part. Instead of using their clunky online forms, you just upload a PDF.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, it's amazing.
That's a huge improvement.
That's a huge improvement.
That's fantastic.
A big win for everyone.
That is a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
That said, you do make me wonder, is that accessible to everybody?
That's such a good point.
Not everyone has, a printer and a scanner just sitting around.
Right, exactly. And that's definitely something that they're going to have to work out, right?
Yeah.
Especially if they want this to be something that everybody can use to really modernize the system.
I said it's only for individual applicants right now.
Yeah, it's not for people who are working with attorneys.
Interesting.
So, okay. So
it's a good first step, but it's just a first step.
Yeah, baby steps, but in the right direction, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of USCIS, they also decided to clear up some confusion about the EB1 category, which is, of course, the extraordinary ability category.
Yes.
And for those of you listening who are like, wait a minute, I'm extraordinary. What does that even mean?
It's a good question.
This is big news.
It is.
This is a misconception that you have to have a Nobel Prize to qualify for that.
Yeah, you don't have to have a Nobel Prize.
So, what are they looking for if not the Nobel Prize?
Right. It's a really good question.
Yeah. So this is especially relevant for people who may not have those huge, flashy awards.
Right.
They may not be a Nobel laureate, but they have done some really impressive things in their field.
So, give us an example. What kind of things are we talking about?
So think about, published articles if you've judged the work of your peers.
Okay.
Or if you've done original research.
Gotcha.
These are all really important contributions.
Okay. So it's really about the quality of what you've done, not just how many trophies you have.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's about impact.
Yeah, it's about impact.
And that can be a little bit tough to communicate sometimes, right?
Totally.
So having a really strong application is super important here.
Right.
And that's something that, greencardforselfpetition.com can really help you with. figuring out how to really showcase your achievements.
Yeah, sometimes it's not just what you do, it's how you talk about it.
Exactly.
Right.
And, of course, working with a good attorney never hurts.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Having somebody in your corner who knows the system can be super helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of different ways to get that, golden ticket, that green card, what about the national interest waiver?
Right?
Can you apply for that even if you are already in the U.S.?
Yeah, absolutely. So the National Interest Waiver, the NIW, is part of the ED2 category.
Okay.
And the cool thing about it is it's not tied to your visa status.
So, like, even if I'm here on an H-1B, which a lot of people listening might be,
Exactly.
I could still be like, hey, what about this national interest waiver thing?
You absolutely could. And, you don't even have to be on an H-1B. You could be on a J-1. You could be on a student visa.
Wow.
And you can still apply for a national interest waiver.
That's good to know for people who are, like, maybe feeling a little bit stuck.
Right, exactly.
Like, oh, man, am I just, beholden to this one track?
Right, you have options.
Yeah.
So it is important to note, though, that even if you apply for a national interest waiver, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it, right?
Right.
And it also doesn't mean that your status automatically changes.
Yeah.
You still have to maintain whatever visa requirements you're under.
Right. Follow the rules.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it does give you that second path, and I think a lot of people don't realize they have those kinds of options.
Yeah, and I bet it takes some of the pressure off, too.
Absolutely.
Like, if you know that, like, hey, I'm applying for this other thing.
Right.
It might not work out, but
It's okay.
I'm
Got
trying.
that option.
I'm putting myself out there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we love a good success story here at the Deep Dive.
Of course, everybody does.
So did greencardforselfpetition.com have any, like, inspiring tales for us this time around?
They did, and it's a really good one.
Oh, good.
It's about a Nigerian engineer named Bartholomew Ibaka, and he was just granted a national interest waiver.
Awesome.
And it's really cool. Like, his whole story just kind of, it spoke to me,
All right, so paint us a picture. Like, what is Bartholomew's story? What did he do?
So Bartholomew, he got his undergraduate degree in Nigeria.
Okay.
And then he came to the U.S. to get his master's at Case Western Reserve University.
Wow. Talk about ambition.
I know, right? Like, coming all the way over here for school, that's a big deal.
That's impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
And then from there, he landed this really cool research position where his work focused on 3D printing and machine learning.
Oh, those are some, like, hot topics right now.
The hottest. Right. Those are, like, the fields to be in right now. And his work was so good that it caught the attention of NASA and the National Science Foundation.
Get out of here. No way.
I know. So cool, right?
That's amazing.
So they clearly saw how valuable his work was.
Wow.
And how much potential it had to really make an impact, especially in these really important, sectors in the U.S.
Like, those are some heavy hitters to be recognized by, too. That's
Absolutely.
Wow.
Very impressive.
That's incredible. Like, talk about, a testament to hard work and dedication.
Right. And it really, I think it highlights how much talent there is.
Yeah.
All over the world, and the impact that that immigrants have on, U.S. innovation. Advancement. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring, for anybody, but I think especially for folks who are going through this process themselves.
Absolutely.
To be like, wow, it's possible.
Yeah, it can be done.
To achieve my goals and to, like, build a life here and to contribute.
And to find success.
Yeah.
It's out there.
It is, yeah. Bartholomew's story is awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a good one. Okay, so this has been such a, like, I feel like we really unpacked a lot of really useful information for our listeners today.
Absolutely. So we covered everything from the visa bulletin updates to the new online filing system,
right?
The EB1 clarifications.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bartholomew's inspiring story.
Love it. And let's not forget where we got all this amazing information, right? This is all from greencardforselfpetition.com.
That's right. greencardforselfpetition.com.
They've got a newsletter, so if you want to, like, stay up to date on all this stuff,
definitely check it out.
Go subscribe to that.
It's a good one.
They've got a lot of great resources.
They do.
On their website, and they can really help you, like, take charge of your immigration journey, which is really what we want people to be able to do.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
So the more informed you are, the better.
The better off you'll be.
Absolutely.
So to all of our listeners out there, whether you are, just dreaming about coming to the U.S. or whether you are, deep in it already in the visa process,
you're right.
You're not alone.
I'm not alone.
There are resources. There are success stories like Bartholomew's to guide your way. So keep learning, keep exploring, keep those immigration dreams alive.
I love it.
And remember, this deep dive is for informational purposes only, not legal advice.
That's right, we're not lawyers.
So until next time on the deep dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to a podcast by greencardselfpetition.com. Visit greencardselfpetition.com for do-it-yourself packets. We aim to provide the collective experience of numerous applicants who have successfully self-petitioned for their green cards without employer sponsorship, in either the EB-1A, Extraordinary Ability, or EB-2, NIW National Interest Waiver categories. Our DIY packets are designed to assist you in your self-petition journey.